Welcome to the Women and the Businesses They Own podcast, the podcast that celebrates women entrepreneurs, their stories, their challenges, and the heart behind their success. I'm your host, Sherry Hooper, and each episode brings you real conversations with women who have built something remarkable. Today's guest is Mary Gunther, founder and CEO of the Social G Company. Mary helps brands make real connections through strategy, creativity, and content that truly stops the scroll. She's also a public speaker, a proud champion of West Michigan businesses, a mom of two, and she's even stepped into the arena and ran for school board in her local district. This is going to be a fun one, but also a deep one, because Mary's work sits right at the intersection of influence, authenticity, and leadership. So, welcome, Mary. I'm excited to dig into your story, how you built Social G, what you've learned about real connection in a digital world, and what leadership looks like in your life right now. So, as we begin, please tell our listeners all about you. Go back as far as you want, share as much personal and professional.
Thank you, Sherry. That was such a nice introduction. I'm humbled. I'm Mary Gunther. I am a lifelong Grand Rapidian, born and raised here. Attended Grand Valley, so go Lakers, and received my master's degree from Western Michigan. Primarily went to the downtown location, but did travel to Kalamazoo here and there. So I'm definitely rooted in the community and now raising our family here. And it's such a wonderful place to live, truly, and raise children. And I appreciate it more than ever, more than when I was younger. So that's about me. I obviously have an entrepreneurial spirit, founded my company almost 4 years ago now. And it was a non-traditional story, so we can get more into that, but really just love being a part of the community and talking and meeting people like you, Sherry, who are really doing some great things as well.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you on here. And already I have to say, go Broncos! Woo!
Yay.
I did not do my master's. So, what is your master's in?
It's in organizational development, so human resources, actually, which is kind of my non-traditional background of how I got into social media marketing. But having that degree actually greatly helps me run a business because everything's about people. And so I've always thought that. So it's definitely translated to what I do now for sure.
Well, so let me ask, how old are your children?
Yes, my children are 7 and 5. William is 7, Grace is 5. So truly, we started our family right. William was born in 2018 and Grace was a true COVID baby born in 2020. So it's been an interesting several years. But it's wonderful. And being a mom is the best thing I do. So business is amazing, but being a mom really for me is just gives me so much meaning. So, and the kids are doing so great.
Well, I love William is my dad's name, so I love that. Do you call him William? Is
Yeah,
he?
the full William.
So my son is Joshua William after my dad. Love that. Of course, I love Grace as well. You have some really good names there.
Thank
But when
you.
so you go to Grand Valley and you finish your 4 years. How long in between did you before you decided to do your master's?
Yeah, so I got my first job out of college at a plumbing wholesaler, and I was an executive assistant, which I learned so much through, and I've always been really close to leadership, which I think has helped me as well. But I think it was a few years later I decided to pursue it, and I just always love learning, like being a lifelong learner and developing constantly, professionally and personally. And I don't know, I just really felt like the degree looked really good, and I actually had some family members that pursued it as well, so I kind of got introduced to it through them.
Okay.
But it was wonderful. It was a wonderful. Um, Degree to pursue that is very relevant in business.
Were you starting your family at the same time as your master's, or did you get one completed before the other started?
Yeah, no, I was back when I was completing my master's, I was a single lady in Grand Rapids, and
Okay.
I did not meet my husband till later in my life. And so, no, yeah, I was just in school, working full time in school, living, working, and playing here in Grand Rapids with friends.
Yeah. Hey, it's a great town to play in.
Yeah.
Well, so if we start talking a little bit more about where you are today with your current company, the Social G, tell me a little bit. I'm so curious how you came up with that name.
Yeah, so it's so fun when you're thinking about starting your own business, because I just did a lot of thinking and driving, and I'm a pretty social person, and so obviously I knew it was going to be in social media, and I kind of was like thinking something along those lines, like social something, the social, and my last name is Gunther. And so I was like, oh, the social G, that's kind of fun. And a lot of people ask me this and they're like, what's the name about? A lot of people think it's like OG, like social G, OG, which is, I'm like, cool, that can be that too. But really, it was just the social G co. And to be honest, it was the social G co because as many people know, you got to see what domains and handles are available
Sure.
for consistency. So it kind of honed in on that. And yeah, love it. Still fits, still feel really great about it. And it's evolved, but it's been exciting to watch it kind of take a life of its own as well.
Okay, so let's think about that first big problem that you had to solve for someone that made you think, wait, this could be a business, or what did you charge, if anything?
Yeah. So we kind of talked about us having kids around, the time of the pandemic. And I had actually taken a step back from working because my goal was to have baby Grace safely in August of 2020. So I kind of just took a step back working. And a few months after she was born, did not know what I was going to be doing next. I really enjoy work, so I knew I had to figure something out. So I actually started marketing wine, which I still do sell on the side, and it's wonderful. So I built a personal brand around this wine, and I started basically self teaching myself how to build a personal brand, how to do the reels, how to do all the things, how to sell online. And so I self taught myself through that endeavor. And then people started seeing my stuff and liking it and asking me questions and saying, how did you do this? And like, I was like, they seemed very interested and they really enjoyed it. And I had people just like come up to me as I was in public and ask me if I was, are you with wine? So it kind of taught me the power of online, um, like your online persona, if you will, that it really can translate in the real world. So I basically started being asked questions, and then I did pick up kind of a client on the side here, and it was super informal. So it was almost like a side hustle, and then I thought to myself, I think this could be something and I should formalize this. So initially I was just building it for myself and like selling the wine and earning commission through that. And then eventually I picked up some clients here and there, and I started very minimal, like $300, $400 a month, like and just built from there. So it's and formalized at the beginning of 2021. So we're entering in our fourth full year only.
Okay, let's unpack some of this. So, if I hear you correctly, you not only had a baby in COVID, you pretty much started a business in COVID, and I found so many times having babies do not slow women down. That seems to be like the moment that we're thinking, I should just tackle something else. I'll have a baby and then I'll start a business because you're about the third person that I have had on my podcast that just said, yeah, I mean, I didn't get a maternity because I just launched a business and or you just pull that little Grace right in, right in behind you. And you're just like, look, this is what we're doing today, honey. We're
Yeah.
going.
To me, it makes sense because a part of starting a business for me was ownership of my time and owning my days because of the kids. So I I also grew up around a grandmother who owned a business in the 60s and 70s. And so entrepreneurship is in my family. So it wasn't something totally foreign to me, but I knew if I did it, I don't typically do anything halfway. If I was going to do it, I'm like, I'm going to do it. Like, and I'm going to give this a real go. And so my mindset around my business is this is what I'm doing between the age of 40 and 50, and that's it. So it does help me from the perspective of when you have a tough month or a tough few months. If you have a bigger picture, like mindset around it, it doesn't sting so bad and you can keep moving through. So like I committed when I started this, like I'm going to do this for 10 years at not at all costs, but I'm going to do it. I'm not going to quit.
Okay, well, I love that you have that tenacity. You obviously have a lot of persistence in that as well. So it sounds like, do you guys have, you and your husband have traditional roles, or do you guys recognize you're both working? You have two kids. Does he help out a little bit at home, or how much are you taking on yourself at home too? Are you planning meals, packing backpacks, school lunches? What's going on for you guys there?
I will say my husband Brandon has always been my number one supporter in all the ways. And I mean, what I do, he does, and vice versa. So we have two kids. There's two of us, and we were like, this is good for us. There's one for each. But for us, it's like every morning, it's a team thing. It's a tag team thing. If I have early morning meetings, he's covering. Same thing in the afternoon. So yeah, no, totally equal. I mean, obviously I have things I do and he has things he does, but mostly he's never, when I told him I was going to do this, obviously we've discussed things over the years, and he's always just been like, yeah, I like do it, like, and so yeah, I would say we really are partners in the true sense of like the day to day with the kids for sure. So I'm really grateful for him. He's a really great involved dad.
Yeah.
Um, and he's a little more of like an analytical, like introvert personality. And so, and then I'm like this entrepreneur extrovert. So,
No.
the opposites, they say.
Well, that's a nice balance. And it is easier when you're launching a business, or you're trying to be the best mom that you can, that all of these household roles don't fall just on you in this traditional sense too. Because sometimes we put that on ourselves. So it just becomes that thing that we've grown up in, and we just assume, hey, this is the way things have to be. But I like your shared responsibilities in your partnership. That
And
makes things a lot easier.
yeah, I'll add one more thing is you have to delegate just like in your business. I mean, we invest, like we have a person come once a month to help do some of the deep cleaning. Like we're not, when you're in a position like you're raising young kids, you have a business, you have life, like if you can afford it, it's totally worth just getting some of those like responsibilities off your plate. And so I will work harder to be able to afford those things, just because you can't, it's like it's a time exchange. And
Sure.
so for us, it's like, yeah, I don't have to scrub the floors all weekend, and that's worth it to me. So
Yes,
yeah.
that's true. Good point. So when you were marketing wine, this isn't your wine. Somebody else brought you on board, and this was your first real gig, so to speak, right? And then
Yeah.
from there, okay, so and you're still working with them today?
Yeah, I still like drink the wine. And so I
Oh,
still have like a really nice customer base. Like I've marketed and sold over $120,000 of this wine. So it's called Scout and Cellar. It's clean crafted. It's amazing. But I actually have many friends I've met through that business. And so yeah, it's always gonna exist. And it actually is folds right under my LLC with the Social G Cow. So it's just another little extension, a little revenue generator. And yeah, so it's still there. It's just not my main thing anymore.
well, it certainly helped launch you because everybody else
Yeah.
saw your work, so you hardly had to market yourself. You didn't even know you were going to market yourself. You just did.
It wasn't the plan originally.
That's the best business to have, though, the one that works for you. Well, so for social media best practices, what would you say you openly disagree with, and why does it usually backfire for small businesses? So what's a social media best practice that you just like, doesn't work?
I would say that I think a lot of people think you have to post every day or a lot of times a week. And I disagree from a perspective that I'm a big quality over quantity person. Like, yes, you definitely should be posting 2 to 3 times a week, but if you're just posting for the sake of posting to say I made a post, like that is not going to be effective to your business just to like check a box. Because if you're checking a box, more than likely your audience is feels that you're checking a box. Like it's not a quality piece of content that really gives them any sort of value. So I think that's one thing. It's like I consistency, yes, like over time, but as far as per how many times per week, I just think you could do 2 to 3 quality pieces and move the needle more effectively than just like posting because you feel like you need to, or like you're in the moment, you're like, I'm just going to push this one thing out, and it's not really playing into your larger strategy.
That makes sense. Seems like there's a lot of emotion into that posting too, or some sort of attitude that people obviously can feel. The way you're explaining it, right? Because I think I'm the check the box kind of person sometimes. It's not my wheelhouse. And I think, okay, I just need to get some content out there, but I definitely see what you're saying because that's exactly how I feel. I just got to get something out there. I need to be relevant. I need somebody to see that I'm making an effort, but maybe it's not all the greatest
Yeah.
quality of
Well,
content.
and I'll say this, also a big believer in if you're like out and about in the community and you push out a story, like you're like at a happy hour or something, that's great. I think it's more just like sometimes posting just for the sake of posting. Like, if you're posting something in the community, like that's a reason you're posting that to show that you're up to stuff. But I think a lot of people just try, it's like they're trying to find stuff where versus like more of a strategic upfront, like what am I going to focus on, and what are my pillars of like content, if you will. So and then as far as what you said, like the emotion around it, I it's so interesting. Like social media is like one of these topics still to this day that people have so many feelings about, like love or hate or whatever. And I joke with people, I said, I have a quickly growing business because of the fact that people hate social media, but they like have to have it. And I think people are starting to like connect the dots that it's a business tool at the end of the day. And if you're not utilizing it like that, then it's just a missed opportunity in my mind as a healthy part of your marketing ecosystem. So yeah, so like just people have a lot of feelings around social media.
Like an overwhelming feeling around social media.
Anything, love, hate, overwhelm, yeah, like anxiety, I mean all of it. And so that's part of what one of our what we do for people is just like to remove that all away from them, and like they can just feel good that we're managing their online presence effectively and appropriately for their brand. And so like it's that relief that like we want to give people. Like yes, we're doing your social media, but like that relief part is like like, and then you get to have fun and just see what like people, like they're typically surprised too because they're like they know it's coming, but then they're just in their own feed seeing the posts that we're making, so that's fun.
On their behalf, of course.
Yes, yes.
Well, so I heard the pronoun were. Do you have a team? Is there more than you?
Oh yes, I have 5 people.
Oh my
uh,
gosh, tell me about how you grew your business and got to 5 people.
when I started my business, I never went into this business with the mindset of like being a solopreneur and just me running content for accounts. Now, could I do that? Yes. But that wasn't my vision. My vision really was a bigger vision of like not being limited at the accounts that I can just manage. And to do that, you need people. So I brought people in like almost from day one. And now I have a team of account managers that I oversee, but they're amazing at what they do. And I've learned so much from them, even. So, my vision for myself with my business was really to be the business owner, not the operator as much. And that's another piece of like this whole topic of delegation is, I can't grow to the lengths I want to grow if it's just me. So you really do need those people. And I have the best team I think I've had. Like, I'm really happy. Like, they're just wonderful people and talented creative people. So I trust them, and they do great work for our clients, and they care about our clients. So yeah, so like I basically spend my time doing a lot of business development, working on the social GCO business. We just did a rebrand that I basically led, and I'm able to do those things and continue to grow the social GCO. And really, like, the sky's the limit as far as, scaling and what we could do. It's really, it's, I have some big goals. So
I guess so. Does that come from the previous leadership experience that you've had or working close to leaders? Did that come from your master's, or is it come from the entrepreneurial spirit that your grandma provided? Because you obviously have the leadership right from the beginning, realizing your business can't grow if you're not the one continuously pushing the business. But how did you even know that you could pay your staff? I mean, that's kind of hard.
yeah, I mean, obviously you're running numbers. And one of the other things I did immediately was hire a bookkeeper and out of the gate, and invested in, tools and like laying a groundwork of a healthy, like, financial business. So I just things I've learned over time, and seen I've seen businesses, small businesses can succeed for sure in a variety of ways, but if, like, behind the curtain, you got to be healthy financially and be able to pay your people. So obviously I've tried to scale appropriately to where it's, you're doing it the right way. And I think I've just learned that through a ton of like professional development I've done. I invest heavily in coaching. I have a coach that only works with women owned social media marketing agencies in the country. Only us. Like, this is all they do, and it's amazing. So I've been told, like, I don't know how to do everything. That's why, like, I invest so heavily in this coaching. So I've if you are a business operator, or you create a business and you're working in it and that's what you want to do, like, that's amazing. But basically, you've created a 9 to 5 for yourself, where, like, my vision is more to be, I want to have a business that I own that can operate without me. So that's kind of where my mindset always is. Someday, eventually, and we're not there yet.
Well, so do you have a brick and mortar location, or does everybody work remote?
Everyone is remote right now because we're either at clients'
Hmm.
places of business, or there's so many meeting spaces and places that welcome people in that we really not, there's no need for us to have an office right now. In the future, that's not out of the question. It's just right now there's just really not a need. And like, my people, I don't put them on a schedule. Like, I want that, like, that's part of the perk of working for the social GCO is, like, you can work with your blankie at home, and be comfy, and just, yeah. So there's no need right now, but we do get together regularly to get some FaceTime together.
Well, that's good. And I have to say, very surprising because I always just thought it was you. And so all of a sudden I hear this we, and I was like, oh, well, that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. So here's something else that really surprised me in that piece of information that you shared is I think you created a word, or I'm behind, but solopreneur.
Mm.
Did you create
Solopreneur.
this word? Are we adding this to Webster?
No, I've read it. I mean, basically, just someone that starts a business that it's you. So that was something because I like people, that's my whole background. So initially, my first person I brought on was my cousin, Erica. And she's doing other things now, but you just got to start with where you have to start and build it and keep improving and getting better. And I think that's just like anything in life. I'm always trying to be a better mom, a better business owner, a better partner. Like, there's really, you're never really there in life, if you will. Like, I think that's always trying to learn and do things in a better way. So
Well, you did say you're a lifetime learner.
yeah.
Well, so I maybe I already know the answer to this, but what do people assume about you because you're visible and successful? That's actually not true.
I think, I mean, I think it's easy for all of us to look at people like each other and just think like, you got it all, they got it all together. And wow, they dress so well and they're so successful. And I think it's just good to keep in mind, like, we're all behind the scenes struggling with things all the time and a myriad of things, you know? So I think I do think I have overall things together, right? Like I'm functioning mostly at a high level. But I will say, like, I've recently on the weekend, I'm kind of like a bear. I joke, like my family calls me Mare Bear or Bear because I really am like I don't mind winter because I kind of like going underground a little and just like insulating because I am so, out there and like networking and even online stuff. Like there are times when I just like I really am off or like resting as much as I can with the kids. But um, so those are things like I feel like I've had to do, especially with being in social media as a business. I can like disconnect from my phone and I'm okay with it. But I have to kind of be intentional about that sometimes because also my kids see me on my phone a lot. And I always say I'm working, but I also don't want them just to think like picture me and their whole childhood is me on my phone, even though it's for work. So I do try and separate that. But I will say is my kids definitely know how to take a good picture.
Maybe you'll have to start rephrasing the phone and calling it your little personal device assistant. Ever remember the PDA or you? Because
Sounds
I
good.
really don't talk on my phone that much, but I'm sure doing a whole bunch of other stuff.
I actually like to talk. Like I have some friends that I'll call and it's fun, like kind of like old school. Like you just like chat on the phone while you're cooking dinner or something,
Yeah.
That's all. I do like to talk.
I like snail mail. So I kind of go back to that as my little, I want people to get surprises in the mail because everything's so electronic and digital. I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna make the intent, the intentionality of putting this out there so people can get a little gift or a little mail with stickers.
I love that.
It's
That's
just fun.
it is. And again, it's like connection. It's like
Yep.
a connection point.
Yep, it definitely is. So I love that you hibernate, so to speak, and you get your recharge. Everybody's got to do that. Even the most social person, what do they say? I think the kids had said something like our social batteries are empty. I mean, I was like, we're in a new world with all these new terms, but okay, I get that. I get that. I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes my social batteries can need a little recharging. You just kind of pull in a little and you're like, I don't want to talk anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
totally. And just like be off. Be off.
be off.
Flip the switch off.
It'll be back tomorrow. I wake right, I'm up and ready and I'm just full of it. Let's go. Energy, energy, let's go. But yeah, every once in a while I just go.
Yeah.
Well, so what boundaries or rules keep you from, well, here we go, because this is something you just kind of said, but maybe resenting your phone or your calendar or your business, and maybe even incorporate that into boundaries with your kids. Are you able to, because I love the way that you set your business up as an owner, not an operator. Have you already figured out those boundaries pretty well? Because sometimes as the kids get older, the more they need you, the more their schedules build and you're running them. How do you do it?
Yeah. I think so for me, it's a few things. Like I look at myself as a person in like a few different ways. Like I my workouts during the week are like non-negotiable. So that's 3 times a week, 3 hours a week. It's mostly 6 a.m.ers, but so like that's one thing is just staying strong and getting like a sweat on a few times a week. I've been doing that for 3 years now. I just started one day and like again just committed to it and like that was that. So I think it's just keeping myself strong physically, mentally, emotionally, and giving myself grace or like a break. Like sometimes, people like us are really hard on ourselves. Like people can't be hard on us because we're harder on ourselves than people could ever be. So I've really tried to give myself like not beat myself up about all sorts of stuff. So I think it's just, I don't think it's work life balance as much as I like the phrase work life integration, because being a business owner, you know, I don't, yeah, like I can go do my kids' holiday stuff at school, but I'm going to have to like hop on a Sunday afternoon and get some stuff done. So it's just like a give and take. And but again, I love it because I get to say what it is. So, this past summer, I pulled back a lot from out doing stuff like networking because the kids were home for summer break, and I was able to work from our community pool and kind of get some things done while they were swimming, and kind of have create that situation for myself. So I think it's just, riding out, I don't know, writing out seasons, see highs and lows and like the cyclical calendar. And, Christmas is coming up. And I feel like people generally, like that week between Christmas and New Year's is, people are pretty much off. So I try and take advantage of those time frames to like really focus even more on the kids and have family time and make memories and things like that. So I just think, there's times for work, there's times for play and rest, and it's not making myself feel bad for having to do either one of those things.
I like that. Those are all good things that you just said that people can use themselves and incorporate. But 6 a.m. workouts, I have to wonder, when do you go to bed?
I go to bed at like 8:30 or 9
Oh my
typically.
gosh, good for
Like when
you.
the I will you well, here's what it is though, Sherry. You put the kids down and they want to lay with you, and then you like want to lay with them because they want to cuddle still, right? Because they're
Yeah.
little. And then I'm like, I'm done. Like it's done. Like I'm not getting back up. So it's typically like that.
You're basically going to bed when they are, because
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
so as long as you know that and you have your teeth brushed, you can be in bed. I used to just think, no, I'm getting back up. And then you'd wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, why don't I might as well just get ready. Just get ready for bed.
I know. I know. Getting ready for bed, like, yeah, I'm like, now I have to get ready for bed. And I'm like, yes, you got to do all your stuff. But yeah,
Yes, I know. I know that's true. What a phrase that I just said. Let's get ready for bed.
but you
All
did.
right, our listeners know what I meant. Brush your teeth already. So well, I was going to ask you about a Christmas party. Do you do that for your Social G company? Do you guys get together and kind of enjoy that time together? A little year-end praise, pat on the back, holiday festivities, anything?
I like to typically in the past we've done stuff as a team in like January or February just because it's a quieter time of year. Everyone's so busy in December that I don't want to add more stress to the team and make them have to be somewhere with me, honestly. Like we all talk every day. But I what I did do this year is I gave each team member a Meyer gift card for the entire holiday season for Thanksgiving and Christmas, just to say like use it for whatever you need. And like that's kind of what we did this year. And then hopefully we'll do something together like more fun in the new year. So I just think, yeah, like there's so many commitments. I mean, in the next 2 weeks, like the calendars, I mean, whenever this airs, it's December. We're filming this towards the beginning of December, so it's busy. Things are busy.
It is
So I
busy.
I, I don't want to, yeah. I think time is the most valuable asset. So I try and respect people's time.
You're speaking my language. How about a Christmas tradition for your family? Now that your kids are 5 and 7, have you incorporated between you and Brandon, like your little family? Have you guys started something that you continue to do each year?
Yeah, yes and no. They're at like these ages, so we're so thankful. Like both of our parents are still here, so they have grandmas and grandpas on both sides. So we kind of have our routine with Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, like as a family or with my side, and then Brandon's parents live on the other side of the state, so we'll typically go there for like that 26th through 30th time frame. So that's kind of been our traditions. Now, recently, because if you're a parent, you understand this. Like the kids don't need more stuff. So we've been trying to just like they're really into hotels and they're old enough now, like we don't have to pack so much. So they're really into hotels. So I think it's like we'd like to start like just do like an overnight, and they just think hotels are really cool right now and the pool and everything. So but yeah, not really like that's pretty much our pseudo traditions. There's nothing really like specific. Um but I do love traditions, and I think that as time like unfolds, like we'll continue to find things that we all like resonate with us together.
Yeah. Your kids are in a really great age where you don't have to worry about them choking. You don't have to pack the entire nursery, right? You pretty much are like, hey guys, get your shoes up, we're gonna go. And you're going in that direction
Yeah.
now. It's so fun. But I mean, there are some really cool hotels out there that you can really have some great experiences with. That's kind of a cool
I
idea.
mean, the good news is they're impressed by like, Marriott. So it doesn't matter. They're impressed by like, so yeah, so that's nice for mom and dad. We don't have to go. We'll save like the 5-star for mom and dad's
There
trips.
you go. There you go. I was just thinking, I think, isn't I know this sounds funny, but the casino out in Wayland, I think they just opened up a new something water
Yeah.
park or whatever. I don't know, something like that.
That's
That's all I
so
meant. Like,
That's so funny you said that, Sherry, because this Sunday, a couple girlfriends and I, we planned this a long time ago. We like to get together. We're doing an overnight at that new Oasis at the
oh,
casino. And
yay.
we're going to get like spa services and then overnight and then do that whole day in that Oasis. So, like, I wish if I would have talked to you, I'll let you know when I see you next how it was.
Please
So,
do.
yeah,
Please do. Because I was actually looking at that. My kids are much older, and I was thinking they don't need gifts either. What if we just go and just do a fun
do
experience?
something.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
do
it's not
something.
that far. I mean, it's here. It's local. I consider that local.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll let you know how it is.
Okay. So, do you have, or I shouldn't say, do you have, what is your website for the Social G?
Yeah, it's www.thesocialgco.com. And the website is fairly new. Like I said, over the summer, invested in a whole new website, branding, logo, really just a revamp and just to kind of continue to level up the brand. I worked with a wonderful woman named Liz McVoy, who's here in the Grand Rapids area, and she's very talented. And her and I work together on this, and I just like love it. So yeah, so that's the website. Long story
Gotta
short,
check
but
it
we're
out, everybody.
continuing to build it. It's never done, right? But yeah, I'm really excited about how it all turned out and like the new brand and vibe feel, which is very much like Mad Men Speakeasy meets the
Oh,
digital era.
people are gonna love it.
Yeah, it's
So,
really
can
fun.
they find you on, I'm assuming, Facebook, Instagram? What are your favorite social media
Yep.
platforms then?
Facebook, Instagram is at the Social G Co. And then LinkedIn, we have a business page, the Social G Co., as well as just Mary Gunther, me as a person on LinkedIn. I love connecting with people on there. I post pretty regularly about everything I'm doing professionally. So, yeah, all those places are as a great way to find us.
And as we kind of get ready for what our listeners love, the lightning round, let me ask you, if the Social G company disappeared tomorrow, what would you want your clients to say you gave them that was bigger than followers or sales?
I think I would want them to say that we gave them a new perspective of what social media can be and look like for your business, and that it can be a fun and positive part of your business and not the alternative, which is just dreading it.
The dread.
Just a new outlook of that it's a way to build relationships with people. And I think if you look at it like that, that will come through. That'll come through. Yeah. So that's what I would want them to walk away with. I also will just say, if anyone's watching this right now, and then you go look at my personal LinkedIn, or we connect online, and then you meet me in person, I want you to like feel like, oh yeah, you're the exact same way you are online. Like there's no like it's genuine, it's who I am, and it's you're not trying to be, you know, this way here and this way here. So I think that's important too.
That's cool. Just the authentic self. That's Mary Gunther right there.
I try.
Well, if you're enjoying this conversation, please follow women and the businesses they own wherever you listen to podcasts and share this episode with someone who might be inspired by it. And I'm going to lead us right into the lightning round. So it's just a few questions that you can answer off the cuff, but more about personality, a little bit more so, and a little bit still about work. So, what is the most overused phrase on social media that makes you cringe?
Um, I think I think people are using the word vibe too much.
Vibe.
Like
Got it.
cozy vibes,
Oh,
fun vibes, like like vibes. Like and I think that's a chat GPT thing because I think chat GPT is writing a lot of captions and that's another side thing is yeah,
sure.
reread that a few times. Make sure that sounds like what you would say.
Fair enough. One trend you wish would retire forever. Like, oh my gosh, I have to just say, like that whole 6-7 thing. We don't have to start with that. I don't know why that one makes me cringe, but is there something else I should retire?
Uh, I, I, okay, this is like a larger, I think trends, I think on a larger scale, I don't know. Sometimes I think trends are very like, they're about the person, which makes sense. But sometimes I like the trends that are more about, I don't know, like outward things than the person. I just think sometimes it gets overdone as far as like, it's look at me, it's me and me. Like it's very, and I think like sometimes I watch it and a little, and I'm just like, it's not all about you. Like, what
Right.
about everyone else? So I think that's just a general comment on trends. Sometimes it's a lot like that.
If your brand was a snack, what would it be?
Ooh, I think it would be. I don't know why this came to mind, but like a kettle potato chip, like the
Okay.
really good ones. So
Yeah.
like, because everyone loves chips, but then I feel like we're like we're like the chip that's just like takes a little more time and is a little more high quality.
I like the high quality. I would agree with that. What about a favorite Christmas movie you watch every year?
These past few years, it's been a lot of Elf because the kids really like Elf. So we've watched Elf quite a bit. But personally, without the kids, I love planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh my gosh, my husband's gonna love you.
I love physical comedy and like I just like crack up at like some of and like John Candy and anyway, so I just that would be one that's that I wish I could watch
I need
more.
to watch that with him. He only knows a few, but he will recite those lines over and over. And I always look at him and just kind of like roll my eyes, like, "Oh my gosh, you need more movies." But he's got his favorites, and so it is
Well,
what it
my husband says they don't make movies the way they used to, so we watch a lot of if we can stay up and watch movies, it's a lot of
is.
80s and 90s movies.
They're the best. They're the best. In our household, while my son was growing up, he didn't watch many movies, but at Christmas it was Kevin.
Home Alone, yeah,
Gotta
Home
do it.
Alone's classic.
I bet my favorite one is always Jack Frost with Michael Keaton. Not a
Oh,
lot of people know that one, but it still makes me cry. What's your go-to hype song when you need confidence or you need to build up or like or
ooh.
a workout song?
I think I tend to go to I like all music genres, so I think like working out wise, it's either like something really hard, like a Metallica, or like real hard, or like some upbeat rap. So I think I can oscillate if I need to be pumped up between a couple of those genres.
So, what I was trying to get this out here. Let's say the worst client myth. So I'm going to say this in quotes. It'll go viral if we just, what's the worst client myth?
I think that like like dancing stuff. Like
Oh, yes.
I mean
Yeah.
it's fun, but like it's not necessarily on everyone's brand. And I don't think you have to do that to have good quality social media. So yeah, I always tell clients like I'm not gonna make you dance, but if we feel like it would be a trend we should jump on and it makes sense, then I'll bring it to you. But it's not
There you go.
mandatory.
So what's your coffee order when you go to CEO mode?
So, I mean, every morning I drink higher end coffee because I like quality. But I always put my protein powder in it now. So I do almond milk and protein powder so I can start the day with protein. So especially after working out. So I typically that's my go-to, but I'm like a homebrew girl. Like just, you know, I try and limit myself, but I just
Yeah.
make my pot of coffee in the morning and that's
There
that.
you-
Not too fancy.
And lastly, if you could ban one app feature for a week, what would it be?
Mm, app feature.
Or an app?
I think one app feature. I think I don't even know what I would turn off. Maybe like it would be nice sometimes to like quiet your DMs. So
There you go.
maybe that for a week just to not get inundated because I also get like DMs, but then I also am on all the accounts. So I see all comments and DMs from multiple accounts.
Oh, wow. That would be a lot.
Yeah. So maybe like that, but I don't think that's probably not realistic.
Maybe not. Okay. Well, Mary, thank you for being part of Women and the Businesses They Own podcast. Your story matters, and today you told it beautifully. And finally, to our listeners, remember, she came, she spoke, and she inspired. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Sherry.